Good evening and welcome to our live special. All roads to the 2020 election go through Wisconsin, and we are counting down 355 days until Milwaukee will host the national convention for the Democratic Party. In 2016, Wisconsin helped lift Donald Trump to the White House, the state choosing a Republican for president for the first time in more than 30 years. Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton in Wisconsin by about 1% of the popular vote. And as the Democrats aim to close that gap, 12 News political reporter Kent Wainscott begins with an important question. What kind of impression will Milwaukee make?
When they call me, whatever they want me to do, I'll do. Come on in.
Antoinette Underhill hopes to step away from her job in this Bayview salon briefly next summer to volunteer when the eyes of the political world focus on her hometown. What do you think they need to know about the city?
That it's a lot more sophisticated than people think, and that it's got great art and great music.
Welcoming the 2020 Democratic National Convention here to Milwaukee.
From the moment Milwaukee was announced as the host city, its many positive qualities took center stage. The host committee even created a video showcasing the city and its attractions to get convention goers excited about their upcoming visit. But while city leaders work to spread the word about the good things in Milwaukee, here in the neighborhoods, some people wonder and in some cases even worry about how their city is going to be seen by others. Shirley Manns is a lifelong Democratic voter who lives in the Bronzeville neighborhood on the city's north side. What do you think people need to hear about this city?
They need to see what's going on, the reality of Milwaukee. The reality of Milwaukee is the crime, it's the lack of education here, the segregation here, and the impoverished community that we had to live in.
We don't sweep those under the carpet.
How concerned are you about the city's faults and flaws and problems being exposed?
Well, the challenges that the city of Milwaukee faces are challenges I deal with every single day, whether it's poverty, whether it's race, whether it's inequality.
No justice, no peace!
I can see it, I can feel it. I experience what they're feeling when I see it in their lives. And what am I hoping? I'm hoping that others will see this as well and say, we want to help address those issues.
One frequent critic of the mayor, Democratic State Senator Lena Taylor, agrees that something good might come from shining a national spotlight on Milwaukee and the issues it faces as an urban center. What should people be hearing about Milwaukee?
Well, surely, we have a great amount of diversity, but I also want them to hear the truth about Milwaukee, right? And where we are, so that the candidates that are running know that we are literally, a real example of the challenges that exist for people of color across the nation.
In fact, the party's national chairman says that's part of the reason Milwaukee was chosen as the host city. How much did the city's challenges play into the decision to bring the convention here?
I think Milwaukee in general, Wisconsin as well, is a microcosm of America. And so we're never going to be hesitant as Democrats to tell the success stories, but to acknowledge the unfinished business.
And whether they believe the focus should be on the success stories or the unfinished business, the city's highlights or its struggles, all are looking forward to that spotlight shining on Milwaukee. Are you excited to have the convention?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Yes, I'm very excited that it's coming, yes. We have some good people that's running to be president. Hopefully they'll win.
Are you glad the convention's coming to Milwaukee?
Yes, I am. I'm glad. I'm going to put us on the map.
There has never been an opportunity like this in the history of the city.
Huge opportunity, so much at stake, Joyce. Milwaukee lobbied hard for really what is the premier political event. Organizers promise that it's going to pay off.
Indeed, they predict some 50,000 visitors will provide a $200 million boost to the area economy.